Okay, we're back, and the last thing we have to create on this zebra before we put the stripes on him is these legs. And I was I'm examining the reference of the legs here, and they're different. Normally on these cartoon animals, I use the same front and back legs, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get away with that in this case. So another thing is this body. I think we're going to have to draw this whole leg like kind of coming up like this. All right, so let's just give it a try. So again, I'm going to do the same technique. I've already made a couple of layers. I'm going to lock it. I'm going to do the rear leg first. I have leg rear and leg front. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab my thing, and I'm just going to do kind of a rough outline of it. So it kind of comes down like this, and then like this, and then there's a hoof. This, and then it comes back up, and it kind of goes like that, and that doesn't look right. That looks like more like an ostrich egg than it looks like a zebra egg. Egg, not egg. Leg. Looks like an ostrich leg. Well, as it turns out, with a little tweaking, maybe that ostrich egg will work after all. I'm going to move it in front of the body. This is the leg rear. I'm going to move that layer up in front of the body so we can really kind of get a grasp on what's happening here. Why is it not letting me? I hate when Flash won't let you move over there. That bothers me too. I wish that it would come up centered too and not flush left over there. That's irritating. So I'm gonna, okay, here I'm on my leg rear. And I think it could actually work. I did tweak it somewhat. I'm blowing it, I said Control plus to blow it up. And I need to look at this guy anyway. Let's get this guy in my sight range. There we go. Alright, so how does this leg feel? First of all, it's much too thick. So let's select all, and let's get it down to the same stroke as that, which I believe we set to 3. Yeah. There we go. Okay, and then let's kind of move it around so it's aligned up with that. Okay. I don't want to. I'm going to go down to. Let's pull to 50%. That seems to be. There we go. Well, let's see. It's hard to tell. I think it's just too long. I'm going to get my transform tool, and I'm just going to shorten it like that. Yeah, I think that's pretty close. Okay, here's another instance how we've got to close the gap in order to fill it in, but also we don't want that there. I mean, there's going to be a black line, but you don't want like an obvious black line. And then here's another problem. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to grab this and move it over and fix it. Just like that. Here's how you get around that. I'm going to just put everything... Use that eye to get rid of everything. The top eye, everything disappears. And I'm going to just only bring back leg rear so I can really take a look at this all by itself. We're going to have to close this gap in order to use my fill tool. So I'm going to do it with a weird color to begin with. I'm going to use a red or some kind of crazy color just to make sure that I'm actually able to do this. So I'm just going to go like that. And then I'm going to use yellow to see if it's going to really take to the fill. So it did take to the fill. So now that I know that that's filled in, I'm going to come back and make this white, first of all, because I want my leg to be white. Oops, wrong one, black. Let's come back again. White, okay. I know his hoof's yellow, we'll fix it later. What I'm really wanting to concentrate on is blowing that up, and I lost it. Here it is. I want to get this line, we can't leave that line red like that. That's going to be too... obviously weird. So what we're going to do is make it white. And when we click off of it, it looks as if there's nothing there, but there really is a line holding it in. So I'm going to go ahead and put all my layers back. And I like that. I like that. Okay, now I think we're okay with this leg. I'm going to select the whole thing, and I'm going to hit Control G, and I'm going to group it. Let's make sure you can see that. I'm going to undo that. Control G. G as in George, G as in group, and group that baby together. I want to make sure that this thing, I'm going to come to my transform. Now, if you have bones, you would just drag bones into it, the bone tool. But since I'm on an older version, I'm going to make sure that it's going to pivot like that. So then when it's walking, it'll look, you know, more of when we go to animate later, it's going to look more of a natural motion. Okay, another thing I want to do with this leg, because I'm going to use it multiple times, I'm going to make it a symbol. See, I'm going to, do it anyway, but I'm just going to grab it with the regular tool. I right click on PC, convert to symbol, and I'm going to call it leg rear, leg underscore rear, because we have leg front and leg rear, and I'm going to say okay. So now it's in my library. It's in my library, and I'm going to make sure to stay organized. I'm going to put it in my objects folder in my library. Alright, so it's in there. I can use it on other, I'm going to have to, undo. I can use it again and again, and I'm going to use it again and again. Right now, actually, I'm going to use it on behind here. So this leg is in front of the body, and we know that by looking in the layers. Here's, I'm going to do my eye thing. That's the leg. And then the body is the next one down. You do like that. If you're uncertain, then you go like this and you'll see which one disappears. That's a good way to find your way around. So I want to put the other leg on the back here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that and do new layer. And I'm going to call it leg, rear, back. And all I'm going to do, because I already have my leg as a symbol in my library, I'm going to drag it out and I'm going to put it in there. Let's do that again so you can see. I'm going to do it nice and clear. Okay, I'm going to go to my library. Those yellow boots. I might leave those yellow boots on him. I kind of like that. Okay. But now we've got to, I'm going to take my transform tool. I'm going to put that pivot where it should be. Again, if you're using later versions, that bone tool is the greatest thing ever. So I'm going to look at this guy and see how he's kind of got his legs. They're kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like that, except it's too high. I'm going to nudge it down with my arrow tool and over. And I can even make it thicker. Let's do that. Yeah. For now, it looks okay. I can always tweak it again later, and it's on its own layer, so we're good. Okay, so those two, I'm going to see if I can use it for the front legs. I think it's not going to look right. I think I'm going to have to draw straighter front legs, because these both cases, on both of my reference material here, the back leg has like a, and even look, he's stepping, and it looks like it's really straight, so I don't think it's going to work. I think we're going to have to just go ahead. We're going to draw another leg. Okay, so I'm going to come up my leg rear back. I'm going to come to my leg rear, lock all layers, select leg rear, new layer, and leg front. Leg underscore front. Okay. Select that keyframe, get my pencil drawing tool just like I did before, and let's look at this for a second. I always want to take a look before we start drawing. You know, other thing I want to do, let's bring our reference material down lower so we can look, we don't have to keep scrolling around. So I'm unlocking layer 1. I always have layer 1 reserved for reference material in these symbols, so I don't, you can layer it reference if you want, but I always know that that's it. Okay, I like that. Relock it. Back up to my new leg front frame here. Select that. And my draw tool, pencil tool. Alright. I want to just look at what I'm drawing here. Okay, let's really have a look at this. Let me just kind of look it over. There still is a little thing on the bottom for the hoof, so that's the same, but the rest of it's not. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm not going to draw it. I'm going to grab my leg symbol, because the hoofs, I want the hoofs to look the same. And I've got my hoof symbol on there, but well, maybe can that work? No, that looks weird. That definitely looks weird. So I'm going to break that apart. I'm going to keep saying Control B until it's broke apart. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just erase a lot of it. Okay, let's select the whole thing. Let's move it over here off of the zebra. And I'm going to get my eraser tool, and I'm going to erase this top part. I'm just going to get rid of it. Really all you have to do is go like that. And then come over and use your select tool. And then you can see all this stuff here and just delete. It's gone. Okay, so I like the bottom. So what we can do, an easy way to do this, I think, is we're just going to extend this leg in a straight fashion. Alright, so what I've done is I've dragged it over here so I can really get a nice look at this leg while I'm working on it and still have my back legs in view. Now if you come up here, see if you come near, it's got the round thing, but if you come to the corner, you get your corner symbol. And then you can just drag this. So why draw a new leg when we can just do that? And I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to fill it with another color again just so I can see where this fill is. It's looking like, there, see? Okay. Now I'm going to come back with my select tool and I can drag this fill around too. Look at that. Perfect. Alright, so that saved me a lot of time of not having to draw another leg. And I'm going to come back and select my white fill or a paint bucket. Do that. I'm going to go grab this thing, Control G. Now it's a whole symbol in itself. I'm going to come back down, oops, Control minus. One more minus. And I'm going to bring it back over to my, I keep wanting to call it a donkey. It looks like a donkey, I think that's why. Okay. Alright, I'm going to drag out, another thing you can do too is you can drag out lines, what are these called? They're in everything too. But I'm going to go ahead, all you do is reach into the ruler and drag it out. If you don't see the ruler, I have a default setup. I always want my rulers in there. I think it's in here, view, yeah, rulers, grids, guides, all that stuff. You know, show guides. That's what that is, it's a guide. And how you access the guides is you just grab the ruler and drag it down. Because I want my feet to be kind of all at the same place. Now what is wrong with this picture? Something is definitely wrong with it. Well, first of all, let's move this up, put my pivot point where it's going to move correctly, and I think it's we're going to do that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now that I've done that, and I've pulled that guide out, I can see that that leg rear back is a little bit. So I unlock that layer, and I'm just going to use my arrow and scoot it down. So it's, oops, went a little bit overboard. Scoot it back up like that. Okay. Alright, I pretty much like that. Okay, so I'm going to relock that, my leg front layer. I'm going to come back here, and I'm also going to convert that to a symbol. Left click, or right click, menu pops up, convert to symbol. I'm going to call it leg front and graphic symbol. Okay. It just pops up anywhere. I forgot to select the library, so I'm going to throw it in that library of objects. So I've got leg front, leg rear. Okay, so now I need another, obviously one more leg behind the body layer. I'm going to lock this in place. It's pretty good. And then I'm going to select, here's my body. So I'm going to do my leg rear back. I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to say leg front back. That doesn't make any sense, but it does to me. I get it. Okay, so select my keyframe, grab my leg front out of the library, and throw it right up there. And then let me take a look at this guy. How's he coming out? That's like those yellow hoofs are hilarious. We're going to have to fix that. I'm going to show you something too about this though. If we fix it in the library, it'll fix on all of them. Alright, so I think that's pretty good. What's missing? We need a tail. Okay. Is his front legs too skinny? I'm not too sure. I think he's okay. He's gonna, and I think why it looks weird is because he doesn't have his stripes yet. I think they're a little bit too skinny, but maybe not. All right, we got to draw a tail, so I'm just gonna put that right on the body layer, and it's just gonna be painted right on. Let's see, where is my body layer? See, you get a lot of layers going with this in Flash, but it's better safe than sorry. I've had so many times where I've worked for hours on something, and then I can't. I'm selecting my body layer, and then I can't. Fix it. I messed up. I put it on the same layer, and it's so hard to get to, and it's so frustrating. This way, it's all good. So what I've done here, I'm selecting my paintbrush tool, and I'm going to make a bigger brush size. I'm going to make it like maybe about like this. Yeah, I think that's about right. And I'm just going to kind of emulate this like that. I don't know if I like that. I think that's too big. I'm going to go the next size down. All right, so let's try it again. Like that. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Alright, and then what I'm going to do afterwards, I'm going to come back at it with the next size brush and put some of those little, like that. I think that's perfectly respectable cartoon tail. Okay, so I like his tail. That's cool. Front legs are in place. What was the other thing? Oh, we want to get rid of his yellow hooves. Okay, so leg front. I can do it right in here. I can alter the symbol and it will alter it on everywhere. Anywhere in the movie that it is, it will alter it. So obviously it's grouped now. And another thing, look at that. Okay, no, nothing. Okay, break. So I'm going to break it apart. I'm going to select that and we're going to make it like a grayish color. How about that gray or that gray? It's going to be against a dark road, so I'm going to make it a lighter gray. And that's it. It changes automatically if it's selected. Another way you can do it, I think, is just use the fill tool. Let's see. Yeah. But if you just select it ahead of time, select the fill area, come into your paint fill color or paint bucket thing, and you can just, it'll change it. And you can also do it up here in your color palettes things. So let's do that again. I'm going to select it, and then I could come in here and make it green or whatever, and it'll change colors. So I'm going to say undo, put it back to that nice gray. And now let's go back out to the stage. Oops. I didn't want to go back out to the stage. I wanted to go back to my zebra symbol. I'm so carried away with this zebra, I forgot that it was a symbol. See, there it is. So I changed the front feet, and therefore it changed it here. And anywhere in the movie that was changed. So that's really nice. And we're going to go ahead and do the same with the back. Where is the? I'm going to close my color palette because I need to see. I'd rather see my library. And it was called leg back, I believe, right? Or leg rear. Here it is. So leg rear. Control B for break apart. Select the hoof area. Come in here and grab that same gray, and voila. All right. Instead of going to the stage, I want to go back to my zebra symbol. But if the zebra was on stage, it would have also affected it as anywhere. All right, so look at this. He's becoming like a full-fledged zebra. He really is. Now this is the part that I was really leery about with these stripes. So what I think I'm going to do, because I think if I use it on the body, it's not going to work, and I'm going to put all the stripes on their own layer. I think that's how I want to handle it. Because also it might become attached to these other lines, and then that would be one of those things that you wouldn't be able to erase it, or it would be attached. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the stripes. Stripes are going to go all on one layer of their own called stripes. I'm going to lock everything, and I'm going to just unlock the stripes layer, so that's the layer I know I'm working on. Now I was noticing in this hind that they both have a real similar thing. There's like 1, 2, 3 big ones, and the same on this one. 1, 2, 3 big ones. So I might just start with that. I'm going to just get a paintbrush and try to start with those big, large ones. I'm going to get black as my paint color. I'm going to select my paintbrush tool. I'm going to put my glove back on because my hand is hurting. And I'm going to come down and I'm going to select the very largest one there is. And I think that's going to be big enough. Okay. I don't know if there's a way to like dither the stroke where it would dither at the end, but I'm just going to try. I'm going to just go crazy and try one. So caution to the wind. that was not good. Okay, let's try another one. It's more easy for me to go like this way, I think. Undo. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay, so there's like 3 big ones. Another big one. I think it's got to go all the way to the edge. All right, okay, so that's okay, but it's got, here's again, I'm going to use, that's making it all one. I think I can use my thing. No, I guess I can't. Oh, look at that. See, that was just this cool thing that just accidentally happened, but I'm definitely liking it, and I'm definitely going to stick with it. Alright, so I like the way those look. So I'm going to use these. So I got my tool, and I'm going to just reform them to fit the body. It's stylized, you know. It looks like it was definitely intentional, but only you and I know that it was a mistake. Okay, I'm going to use my skew tool to skew it. And then I'm going to make it bigger again, like that. Yeah, I like that. I think that'll definitely work. So let's, I wonder if it's going to look weird with the rest of them now. So let's see if we can maintain that, or we may have to just, use that and manipulate it a bunch of times. No, that definitely looks weird. Select it, and I'm going to use that tool again and see if it'll happen again. Yeah. Alright, I'm liking that. I think that looks good. It's not exactly correct. This is probably more of a diagonal, but again, it's a cartoon, so I'm going to take liberty. I think that the legs and stuff are going to have their own stripes. I think these are going to have to stay. So this is going to be the body stripes. So I'm going to pull it down directly above the body layer. Because when the leg moves, that's going to look weird if there's just these stripes just hanging around. Okay, so we're going to have to do it that way. But I'm going to come back in and do this. I'm going to take a break, and we're going to come back after they're all done, and I'm going to, well, here, what we'll do before I leave. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you how to do the leg real quick, and let me look at this leg. It's just kind of back and forth. Alright, we're going to do one leg, and then I'm going to take a break while I finish the rest. So what was it called? Leg? We'll do leg front. So I'm going to come into leg front, and I am going to put it on a separate layer. This way it won't matter how the leg moves. It's always going to move with it. And I'm going to use, obviously, a smaller brush. I'm going to blow this up nice and big so I can really have a good look at it. I like my things to be center stage. And I'm just going to try to come in, undo. I'm going to grab my paintbrush, and I'm just going to kind of try to come in like this and come from different spots and just see if that's going to look okay. Like one side, then the other, one side, then the other. See how that's going to look. I think it's going to look pretty cool. I think it's actually going to look alright. So I'm just going to do that all the way up on one leg, and then the great thing about you making this leg a symbol, it will be on all of them. So that's going to be sweet. Alright, let's get this all together. And I'm going to blow it up, and I made a couple sloppy spots. I'm going to fix them, go through and fix it really quick here. I'm just going to grab my tool, get it, and move it over. So anywhere that I made like a sloppy spot, something sticking out, fix it. Fix it now and forever hold your peace. Don't let it hang around and it's going to just bother you, or I'll get to that later. Make it look right now. Okay. Alright, so let's look back at our zebra and see how that turned out for his leg. Yeah, I like it. I think it looks good. Okay, so the zebra's legs are in place. I'm going to go ahead and do the other legs and everything else and get them all painted in. And I'm going to come back and show you the finished thing. Okay. Okay, so I've been hard at work working on Mr. Zebra here, and I've got him just about done. I just saved the head for last. I wanted to go over a little bit about this, some more color things. So what I've done, here's the head layer. Right above the head layer, I've created a layer called Stripes Head. And the reason I do these layers too, like for instance, let's look at this leg symbol, these leg rear. The reason that I put the stripes on a separate layer is I'm always about saving time. So the next time I draw any kind of, I don't have to draw a horse animal of some sort. I can just, I have the hind quarter already drawn, and I have these symbols already drawn. I can just get rid of these stripes real quickly. I can just delete that layer, and I don't have to keep redrawing stuff. I'm all about, let's reuse these library items as many times as we can. And also on this one, I am going to be using some of my other animals. I'm going to grab an elephant and a giraffe, and there was another animal I'm going to grab out of another library. There's no reason to keep, when we get to the zoo part, there's no reason to have to keep doing this. So I'm onto the head. We're onto the last part of the guy here. And I'm going to start putting some things in. Now this is solid black, and maybe I did that wrong. I think I did do that wrong. But what I'm going to do is just make this a little bit of a different shade of black I'm going to paint with. So I'm going to go into my black. I don't know if I showed you this. There's two ways you can do it. So I can do fill color. I can come over here, and I can just go in like this and move around and grab a different fill color and work on my color there. I think I need to have my paintbrush selected, and then it'll change. The reason it's not changing is because this is down all the way dark. So if I come up here, it'll change, and it changes over there as well. But what I want to do, I'm going to turn it back to black. But, so you don't have to go into that. I like to do it this way. You come in here, and this is what this little circle is. This will help you to change your color. So you select on that, and you get this nice thing here. And this is where I like to work when I'm trying to find a color. So it's basically that thing, but way smaller. And that's why we had a problem before, because this was way down. And it wouldn't matter what color you picked, if it's way down, it's in the black zone. So I'm going to go back to where we were, wherever that was. And I'm just going to come up a little bit out of there. Like maybe there. Let's try that. So I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I'm going to paint this area in, this nose and mouth area in, and let's kind of take a look at this and see what it's going to look like. It sort of looks like that, right? And I'm going to hope that we can still see it. Because if I was to paint it all black, then you wouldn't see. Yeah, I like that. It worked out just how one thing in this project that worked out just how I wanted it. So I definitely like that. Because then you can still see the little smiley face in the nose, but it doesn't look weird because it's black. And I might just give it a little more touch this way. That. Okay, yeah, I think that looks good. I like that. I'm going to keep it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my black and continue painting. I'm going to try to copy this guy's face. His stripe's pretty close, I think. Let's see how this... Oh, another thing, they have a black tip on their ears, I noticed. Oh, that looks weird. I'm going to leave that alone. Maybe put it down here like that. Okay, that looks cute. All right, so let's look at this face. He's got stripes coming out of his eyes and going up. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So let's try to put those in. I'm just going to go like that. And on these other stripes, I haven't been really doing a lot of fussing and doing that smooth the line out. I've just been kind of doing them. That looks cool. I like that. It's so stylized. It looks like sort of almost like... that looks too much like eyelashes. Okay, we don't want to do that. Keep it more straight going like this. And then from there are straight lines, a group of straight lines coming out here, but it looks like they're even smaller. So I'm going to grab a smaller thing, and I'm going to take it right out of my nose, and it comes kind of up to the bottom of the eye. And I'm going to keep doing that. There's a few skinny lines that go up, like that. Actually, I'm going to undo all 3 of those. I'm going to even go a little thinner. I think that's just a little thick. So let's try it here, like that. Because these come out a little thicker after you let go of them in the paintbrush thing. They look thin as they're drawing them, and then they like spread out or something. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I'm going to go get another thicker brush, and I'm going to do these lines that are coming out of the face like that. So these kind of stem off from here and go down and around like that. And then there's one coming up like this, and then there's a really big one coming like this. A little too far out. I think I need one more bigger brush too. Next brush up. I'm going to go into some bigger brushes. Nope, don't like that one either. Nope, definitely don't like that one. I'm using this trackball thing, and it's really hard to control. But like I said, I have a tablet, and I would normally use my tablet. Yeah, I'll let that go. But I'm sure most people don't have tablets, so I'm going to go ahead and just like everybody else, use the, well, you'd probably be using a mouse. And a mouse might even be easier than using this trackball. It's really not set up for drawing. I don't like that. Okay, so now there's this thing coming to his eye and straight down, coming out of the ear. I'm going to try to put that in like that. Don't like that. So what I'm doing when it disappears, of course, I'm just hitting Control-Z. Or Control-Z, yeah, that's to undo it. Okay, so this is coming along okay, and I'm going to put one of these in like that, and maybe one down here. It doesn't have to be exactly like this giraffe's. And then come up. And what I've noticed when I was doing these follow right into those things in the main. Those lines actually file right in. And I think that might be okay. I think we got ourselves a zebra here. One thing I don't like, I'm going to take a little bit of, do a little bit on that ear. The ear just looks too white. Okay, I'm going to use a thinner thing, brush. I'm just going to kind of go like that. And I'm going to draw a little line like this for our ear. Okay, so now we've finished our, I think I'm happy with the zebra. Finally. I picked a great one to do a demo on. I should have did the demo on the flowers. Stuff. If we leave our reference all over the stage on the symbol stage, it's going to come right onto the scene, which we don't want to do. I'm going to just do that as an example. We're just going to drag them out there, and all the pictures and everything comes with it. So of course we don't want to do that. So we've got to, before we can use this, finish the symbol, we can go in and delete them, or we can just, we know that they're all on this layer. Here, let me just, so you can see what's happening. I'm going to scroll. I know that they're all on this bottom layer. See, they're all here. So I'm just going to select that bottom layer and hit this trash can, and off they go. They are lost in space. I'm going to do several versions of this guy. That's another reason that I put him on these different layers, because he's going to walk. He's got to walk. So we want to have their legs on separate layers so they can move, and that's going to be in the next tutorial. But there you have it, as a fully realized zebra. I'm going to move ahead in the timeline. Z, okay. Yeah, here. Let's drag him out somewhere. Let's actually make him, because he is going to have his own layer, of course, on the stage as well. I'm going to make him his layer, and I'm going to call it Zebra. And I'm going to select a spot and hit F6 to put in a keyframe, and then I'm going to drag him on stage. So there he is. There's our zebra. He's on the stage area that we created from just some picture references. He's probably too big. It's going to be like this. And we're going to do, there's a lot more to this than just the zebra on the stage. It's the zany, zealous zebra. Zip through the zigzag zinnias at the zoo. So we're going to have to draw some things for the, I'm going to have to draw the zinnias. The zoo, I'm going to just use some of my other things. I'm going to steal from my letter G. I'm going to steal my gate. The gate from the letter G, and the giraffes from the letter G, and I'm going to steal some things out of here, a elephant and a polar bear, and so it's just like, you know, save yourself the time and energy to keep doing it. But I think he's not a bad little zebra, so I'm happy with the zebra, and stay tuned, because we're going to, the next tutorial, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and draw all these things and have everything ready in my library to go, and in the next tutorial we're going to go through how we're going to animate the symbols on the stage area. Okay, so I hope you learned something, and stay tuned for the next tutorial. And again, this is an actual thing that will be posted. There'll be a link on for my other channel. Thanks for watching.